Hello and welcome. This is Notibot ENG. Tonight, we bring you a special report on the escalating tensions in the Middle East. The Iran-US conflict has reached a boiling point, with the Strait of Hormuz at the center of the storm. Civilians are caught in the crossfire, with their lives being used as bargaining chips. We'll take you through the latest developments, from Iran's claims of openness to civilian vessels, to the U.S. threat to blockade the strait, and the IRGC's deadly warning to any military ships. Let's dive into the story. As the world struggles to understand the devastating human cost of the Iran conflict, one unlikely casualty has emerged: the lives of innocent civilians. In a shocking turn of events, the ongoing conflict in the Middle East has taken a disturbing new turn. As tensions between the U.S., Israel, and Iran escalated, the region's civilian infrastructure has become a bargaining chip in the negotiations. The most recent ceasefire, which was announced on April 8, brought a temporary halt to the fighting, but it marked a disturbing shift in the way civilian life is being used as leverage. The source of this shift lies in the actions of Donald Trump, who has repeatedly threatened to destroy key infrastructure in Iran, including bridges, power stations, and desalination plants, unless Tehran meets his demands. Tehran has responded by threatening to target the energy and water systems in the Persian Gulf, which could have catastrophic consequences for the global economy. This development matters because it marks a significant escalation in the use of civilian life as leverage in conflict. Bridges, power stations, and desalination plants are not just abstract infrastructure. They are the connective tissue of ordinary life. They provide escape routes, supply corridors, and access points for emergency services. They keep hospitals functioning, refrigerate food and medicine, and ensure that people have access to clean water. The normalization of this doctrine is a disturbing trend, and it raises serious questions about the future of conflict in the region. If civilian life is to be used as bargaining chips, it means that the very survival of ordinary people is being put on the negotiating table. This is not just a matter of military coercion. It is a fundamental shift in the way we approach conflict, and it has serious implications for the future of the region and the world. Following a recent escalation in tensions in the region, Iran has made a surprising announcement regarding access to a strategic waterway. In a statement released by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, Iran has reaffirmed its commitment to allowing civilian vessels to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. The IRGC emphasized that the strait is open to the harmless passage of civilian vessels, in accordance with international law. This comes as tensions between Iran and the United States have been escalating, particularly over the recent U.S. drone shoot-down by Iran's military. The IRGC warned that any military ships approaching the area would be violating the ceasefire and would be met with a severe response. This statement is likely aimed at the U.S. Navy, which has been conducting regular naval exercises in the region. The U.S. has been concerned about Iran's military capabilities and has been working to strengthen its alliances in the region. The Strait of Hormuz is a strategic waterway that connects the Persian Gulf to the Gulf of Oman and is a critical route for international oil shipments. Any disruption to the strait could have significant economic implications for global markets. The IRGC's warning is seen as a demonstration of Iran's determination to defend its sovereignty and territorial integrity. The United States and Iran have a long history of tensions, particularly over Iran's nuclear program. The U.S. has imposed sanctions on Iran in an effort to pressure the country to negotiate a deal. The recent incident highlights the ongoing standoff between the two nations and raises questions about the future of the U.S.-Iran relationship. Following recent tensions in the region, Iran's military is warning any ships approaching the Strait of Hormuz that they will be violating a ceasefire. Iran's Revolutionary Guards have issued a warning to any military ships approaching the Strait of Hormuz, stating that they would be considered a breach of the two-week ceasefire with the United States. This warning comes as tensions between the two nations remain high following a series of incidents in the region. The warning was issued in a statement carried by state media, in which the guards asserted their control and smart management of the strategic waterway. They claim that the strait remains open for the safe passage of non-military vessels in accordance with specific regulations. This statement appears to be a veiled warning to the United States and its allies, who have been conducting naval exercises and patrols in the region. The situation has been escalated by a series of incidents, including the capture of an American drone by Iranian forces in January, and the shooting down of an uncrewed U.S. drone by Iran's Revolutionary Guards in January. The United States has responded by increasing the number of military personnel and equipment stationed in the region. The implications of this incident are significant, as the Strait of Hormuz is a critical waterway for global oil supplies. Any disruption to the flow of oil through the strait could have far-reaching consequences for the global economy. The situation also highlights the ongoing tensions between the United States and Iran, which have been exacerbated by the withdrawal of the United States from the Iran nuclear deal in 2018. Following a collapse in ongoing diplomatic efforts, former U.S. President Donald Trump has made a shocking claim, sparking global concern and economic unease. Good evening, I'm your name, and this is a recap of the latest news. Tensions in the Middle East have escalated as the United States and Iran failed to reach an agreement in peace talks in Islamabad. The talks, which aimed to bring an end to 6 weeks of costly warfare, collapsed after just 21 hours. The collapse comes as Iran's Revolutionary Guards have warned that any U.S. warships approaching the Strait of Hormuz to carry out a blockade will be considered in breach of the ceasefire and will be dealt with strongly. U.S. President Donald Trump has declared that the U.S. will blockade the Strait of Hormuz, effective immediately. In a statement on his Truth Social platform, Mr. Trump wrote that the U.S. Navy will begin the process of blocking any and all ships trying to enter or leave the strait. He later told Fox News that NATO allies, whom he has criticized for failing to back the war, wanted to help with the operation in the strait, citing the presence of minesweepers. The UK and a few other countries are reportedly sending minesweepers to the area. Former Defense Secretary Ben Wallace told The Independent that sending British warships to police the Strait of Hormuz was being considered. The move is seen as a significant escalation of the conflict and raises concerns that the conflict could reignite just days after a 2-week ceasefire was agreed. The blockade is expected to have significant economic implications, as it would disrupt global oil supplies and trade. The situation remains volatile, and the international community is watching with growing concern. We're now turning to a warning from Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, claiming a deadly vortex in the strategic waters of the Persian Gulf. The threat made by Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, towards the United States over the planned naval blockade of the Strait of Hormuz has raised concerns about the potential for escalation. The IRGC statement, in response to U.S. President Donald Trump's announcement, asserts that any country attempting to navigate the strait will be trapped in a deadly vortex if it makes the wrong move. The IRGC also claimed that all traffic in the strait is under the full control of the armed forces. The Strait of Hormuz, a critical waterway connecting the Persian Gulf to the Gulf of Oman, is a major shipping route for oil and other vital resources. The U.S. Navy has been conducting military exercises in the region, which the IRGC views as a threat to its national security. The planned naval blockade is intended to deter Iranian attacks on shipping vessels in the region. The IRGC's warning has been met with alarm by Western governments, including the United States. The U.S. has repeatedly stated that its naval presence in the region is aimed at deterring Iranian aggression, not provoking it. The IRGC's threat is seen as a reckless escalation of tensions, which could lead to a wider conflict in the region. The situation remains volatile, with both sides dug in and refusing to back down. The international community is watching with concern as the situation spirals out of control. That's all for today's news recap. Thank you for watching. We'll continue to bring you updates on the escalating tensions in the Middle East. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for the latest news and analysis. Stay informed, stay vigilant. We'll be back with more news after this break.